Hello friends, welcome back. This is the very last video that will be included in our Vlogtober series. Today is the 31st of October and I will be showing you my completed pages for Inktober 2021. If you haven't seen the video of me flipping through the initial pages of this sketchbook, I will leave the link of that specific video up in the iCards and also the playlist down in the description. And I will only be flipping through the pages of my Inktober sketches with you today. So I have said in that previous video of my sketchbook tour, I wanted to use up this sketchbook since it still has a few pages and it just fits my 31 drawings, so I could retire this old sketchbook of mine. My general theme for Inktober, just like my Inktober sketches from 2018, is birds, and every bird I have here represents the official prompt list from Inktober, and here we have our sketches. So the first day was crystal. I had drawn here a crystal swan figurine. I remember those miniature crystal figurines that my aunt has displayed all over the house, and it was the first thing that came across my mind when I saw the prompt. So basically all of the materials that I have used throughout these sketches is my Sakura Micron pens in the numbers 02, 03, 04, the graphic 2, and the 08. So I use a variety of tip sizes, as well as in a later part of the month I used the Kuretake Gansai Tambi Watercolors. Here we have day 2 and 3. Day 2, I do have a sped up draw with me video as part of the series. I will link it up above as well. I decided to do penguin for day 2's prompt, which is suit. And for day 3, I actually wrote the name of the bird up at the top, so I won't forget on the next time that I flip through and look back on my sketches. This is a great cormorant. I remember the story of these birds helping fishermen during their daily routine, so I placed that bird there with a fishing vessel. Next we have here the knot, or the red knot. This is the thing that is quite a trade-off with me doing my monochromatic birds, is because these birds do have colorful plumage, and I can't really express that if I'm doing just black and white. So that is quite a missed opportunity and a trade-off in my part, deciding early on that I won't color the birds in other than black and white. Day 5 we have raven. Day 6 we have spirit. So this is me thinking about what type of bird has a significant meaning or symbolism behind it. So the spirit animal of artists and creatives is said to be the sparrow, so that is what I drew here. Next we have fan, or the Fantail flycatcher. This is when I started using my Gansai Tambi Watercolors from Kuretake. It doesn't really give a shimmer or anything with the gold, but I like that it has a pop of color rather than just all black. And it's also a decision on my part to start using watercolors instead of using my markers, because I slowly ran out of the very thick nib of the marker. It ran out of ink and I didn't have any more time to buy or order more of those markers. Maybe of all the birds that I have drawn, this might be the most disappointing. Maybe disappointing may be such a big word, because looking at it now, I kind of like the gradient of it, but during the time I was quite upset with me doing the Magpie here, because I used the quill ink from Pilot, and I realized too late the way I mixed the ink with water wasn't correct, and I realized too late when I put it down on paper that it is of a different shade, so the mixture of water to ink wasn't the same with both of the palettes that I have created. So it's lighter here and it has a more greenish tone at the bottom, and later did I also realize that it kind of smudged just here and here. And to think that this fantail is maybe my favorite illustration of all the illustrations that I did in Inktober, and it smudged right there near its tail. And so maybe next year when I do this again, I won't be doing the back-to-back of the sketchbook, but rather do one illustration per page, so not to risk it bleeding through if ever I used a very inky pen, or it would bleed through by accident. Here we have pressure, the pressure gobblers, or what we know as the turkey. I kind of enjoyed doing the layered feathers that they have. I have looked through so many pictures of turkeys and I am slightly scared of what they look like, but later in the day when I found out there were like the white feathered turkeys and they look quite pretty, so that is what I chose for this one. Next, here we have the blood-footed oyster picker. Supposedly this bird has like a reddish tint in their feet, and of course you can't see it through the monochromatic illustration. So here we have the 11, which is sour. Birds, especially baby birds, tend to have what they call sauerkraut because their digestive system isn't that fully matured yet, so they are more prone to infection, or their digestive system shuts down. And doing these prompts with a certain theme tends to make me learn more about birds and just the random trivias and facts that I have learned throughout this process. Next, here we have a baby owl for day 12, a baby owl stuck on a tree. And then here for day 13, we have pigeons on a roof. My friends commented on this saying that they look like two birds, like a couple arguing or something. Here we have a tick. This was actually just a wrong thing for me to have picked out because I thought that cattle egrets eat the ticks that are on the cattle, but it turns out they only eat the bugs that fly off as the cattle goes through the grass and the swamp. Here next we have helmet for day 15, or the helmet banga. The greater flamingo for compass. I actually don't know what to do for the prompt of compass, but I ended up doing migratory birds, and greater flamingos are known to be quite popular migratory birds, so that's one. Next we have here collide. So I just looked up at pictures of birds hitting windows of buildings, and most of them are actually very sad to look at, but here I saw a picture of a bird hitting what seems like a window pane or a mirror as it saw itself, and it looked like this one, and I kind of just copied how it looked, especially the position of the bird. Next we have here day 18, which is moon. This is also a red knot, the same as day 4, I believe. This is the same bird. I didn't actually expect to draw the same bird multiple times. That wasn't what I wanted the challenge to be, but I couldn't think of anything else, and there's such a red knot nicknamed Moonbird B95, which is said to be the oldest red knot. They say in the research that the length of time as well as the distance this bird has flown could be totaled in his lifetime. The distance towards from Earth going to the moon. So if hypothetically speaking this bird flies from Earth towards the moon, he could reach the moon, and so that is his nickname, the Moonbird. Next we have here day 19, which is Loop. All I can think about is Toucan Sam from Fruit Loops, so I got this drawing of a keel-billed toucan. Sadly, I couldn't, of course, this is another of the trade-off. I could have made this bird super pretty, super colorful with its colorful bill, but sadly I did monochrome. Next we have here day 20, which is Sprout. I actually found the common red pool, a picture of it with little sprouts of I am not sure what that plant is, but it's on top of a tree, and it is as small as that newly sprouted leaf, and so this bird is super tiny. Next we have here the golden crest for day 21, which is Fuzzy. This is one of the fluffier baby birds that I have seen and found online. Next we have here open. Initially I thought that I would be drawing maybe an eagle opening its mouth, but I found that kind of harder than I expected. So I went with the hummingbird opening its wings. Next we have here leek. This is the most cop out of all the illustrations that I have done. Instead of leek, I went with lek. Lek is apparently the prairie area where all the great sage grouse do their mating rituals. So it's like a big open field and all of the birds do their sort of creepy mating ritual, if you ask me, because this bird is already kind of scary and kind of big. And if you see their form when they do their mating rituals, it's ugh. Next we have here extinct. I had a hard time looking through which of the birds that I would actually choose for this prompt, because there's a lot, sadly, very much a lot of beautiful exotic birds that are now extinct. I'm afraid to say the name because I might have a different, I might pronounce it wrong. So this beautiful bird is actually said to be a songbird. It has very beautiful plumes and feathers used by the natives and their royal outfits, and later these birds were then sold as pets and they have died because of sickness. Next we have here splat, or the wild canary. This is also quite of a cop out because every time I search for the word splat and bird in the same sentence, I don't like what I was seeing. And so the only thing that I saw that made sense, for me at least, is the Angry Birds Splat toys. And so I connected Splat to Angry Birds, to my favorite Angry Bird, which is Chuck. Chuck is a wild canary, the yellow triangular shaped bird. So that's the story behind that. And here I started to do the single page illustration, since I had enough pages that could last me up to the 31st. Here I have an Amur falcon because this is another one of those migratory birds, and I saw the message that migratory birds connect our worlds, and so I decided to just find a cool migratory bird, since I already used the great falcon in the compass prompt. Next we have here is spark. A sparkling violet tear is actually a hummingbird, so I have drawn 2 red nuts. This is my second hummingbird, and I have another illustration of something that I have also doubled on the later prompt. I should have maybe chosen like something else for spark, like maybe an electric type bird Pokemon, but I've already done Zapdos in my 2018 Inktober, so I didn't do that again. If you have time to look through a picture of a sparkling violet tear, they're actually very beautiful birds. Their plumage is actually very sparkly, so that is that for day 27. Day 28, this is almost sort of an inside joke for me and my friends now. How do you expect me to be doing a theme of birds and have crispy as a prompt and not do a chicken? And so this is what I have chosen. Instead of the regular chickens that we see, I specifically chose the light Sussex chicken because it has beautiful white and gray plumage. If you could search it up maybe. Here we have day 29 with our prompt patch. We have here the downy woodpecker. This bird actually has a red plumage up on its head, and it's mostly black and white. It has black feathers with white patches on its plumage, and it's very pretty. Most of the birds here that I have chosen are actually some of the prettiest birds that I have ever seen. And next here we have the Redcap Mannequin, specifically the male one. So the bird, this was maybe one of those illustrations wherein the color of my circle matches the name. So just imagine this red part here is the same color as the white part here on its head. So that is how the Redcap Mannequin actually looks like. And specifically the male one, because the females I think are more of a green color, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason why I placed this on day 30, which is the prompt is slither, is maybe I can link a short clip of it up on the iCards. The way they do their mating rituals is like they're moonwalking. That is how they impress the ladybirds of their life, and it is actually very funny to look at. And so here we have the final illustration of the Inktober series, 31 birds for 31 straight days. I am actually very proud that I have done another of these 31-day drawing challenge. It actually gave life to my art account in Instagram. I will leave that link down in the description, and maybe I could do more illustrations in the future. I have finally filled out the remaining of this old sketchbook. I only have a pen test there left, and I could say that the sketchbook from January 28, 2019. Wait, let me grab a pen. Get right here to October 31, 2021. And so that is it for today's video. I would like to again thank each and every one of you who have been sticking around and hanging out with me through all the 32 videos that I have for my Vlogtober series. I do hope you enjoy watching as much as I have been enjoying filming all of these in all 31 days of October, and hopefully you continue to support this little creator and what she does. And I will see you hopefully in my next video, which I think will be this Friday. And so I actually almost said see you again tomorrow, but I won't be posting maybe tomorrow. So until my next video, guys, bye bye.